So I have been thinking a lot about burnout lately, and honestly, I am starting this channel because of that. Being an adult and adulting is difficult. But on top of that, knowing that you're in a job that is not like a long-term thing is honestly so draining. And I have really just want to talk about it. And I know that there are probably other people out there that want to talk about it too. So my name is Morgan. This is Studio M. And this is going to be like a knitting crochet podcast where we just take control of that burnout and we talk about the things that we need to talk about so that we can get through it. Because at the end of the day, I can't just quit my job, right? I need money, as we all do. I have to pay my bills. I have to take care of my dog, Bo, and my partner. And if I didn't have my job, I wouldn't be able to do that. So how do we combat that? And I've really just been trying to figure out how to take control of that. And it's a situation where you don't really feel like you have a ton of control, right? I want you to grab a cup of coffee, grab a tea, grab a electrolyte drink, grab some water, grab whatever you like, grab your favorite drink. Mine this morning is a brown sugar cappuccino. It was meant to be a latte, but I oversteamed the milk. So it's a cappuccino, and that's what we're going to call it. And grab your favorite craft. Grab some knit, grab some crochet, grab some scrapbooking. Or if you just need to listen, throw it on as a listen. This is basically a podcast I'm going to talk to for however long I do. So yeah, let's go. Okay. So I've got my knitting right here. I recently just learned how to knit. I have been crocheting since January 2025, and we're going to get into that. Actually, this was my last project that I just made. So this past month, I have been seeing so much on Pinterest that I just want to do. So I was like, you know what? I knew how to knit when I was a kid. It can't be that hard. So I knit this first little swatch. You can kind of see it there, just from like a yarn that I got from Michael's. And I made so many mistakes just in the swatch, but I also learned how to fix all of those mistakes in this swatch. So I felt really confident coming out of this, that I could just go straight into knitting a sweater. So that's what I've done. I am following Vera Grazia's like your easiest sweater, beginner sweater tutorial. She has a YouTube video, and she also has just like a written pattern. It's very easy to follow. And anything I haven't really understood, it's easy to look up. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to keep knitting. I am really actually close to it being done. I'll give you the current place of it. This is what it looks like right now. There's lots of mistakes up until about here, because that's when I kind of figured out what I was doing. But it's knit raglan. It's in the round. It's got nice ribbing at the bottom. This is the first sleeve. And then I am just finishing the second sleeve. So I hope to be done with this very soon. But getting into it, starting January 2025, right? So 2024, my big goal was to learn how to run, and I did. I have never been a runner. I ran for sports, but I like set a goal for myself that I really wanted to run a half marathon. And running is not easy for me. I still don't like it after a year of doing it. And I haven't really done it in a year because it's already 2026. So that was like the thing that took up my 2024. End of 2024, beginning of 2025, I really just, it wasn't something that was giving me joy anymore. And that was the whole point, was I wanted to learn how to love running. And did I learn how to love it? No. Do I have a much bigger appreciation for it? Yes. But it was kind of the end of the journey for me. It was not something that I really wanted to keep doing. So I was trying to find ways to get off my phone, because beginning of 2025 was a very toxic place on the internet. And I wanted something that would keep me from scrolling. And the first step was I actually deleted all of my social media at the beginning of 2025. I kept YouTube and Pinterest because my goal of 2025 was to consume less and create more. And I figured, okay, I can do that through crochet. How I learned to crochet is my sister. She is a fantastic crochet artist. She is so talented, and I've just been watching her crochet for the last probably 5 or 6 years. And it is one of those things that I was just kind of jealous of because she could bring her craft with her anywhere. So all of like our family holidays, anything we were doing, she could just bring it with her. And all of the crafting kind of things I had done at that point were very stationary. I couldn't really bring them with me. I liked scrapbooking. I'm not going to bring a whole big box of scrapbooking stuff, right? This is actually, I brought this out because I started doing kind of like junk journaling last year too. Maybe I'll flip through it at one point because I have all of this stuff. And it was a way for me to get some thoughts and words out. I don't journal a ton, but also like I had a bunch of photos I wanted to put in, and then I started crocheting. So I wanted to remember all the yarns that I'd been using. So I started cutting off the labels and cutting off little pieces of the yarn. How much I'm actually going to get done on this sweater because I'm talking is probably 0. But I started cutting off the yarns and pasting them in there so that I could remember my yarns. Eventually I'll probably make some sort of like swatch wall or like binder of swatches because up until this I had never made a gauge swatch before. And this isn't even a gauge swatch because it's not the same yarn that I'm using, but I'm pretty sure both of these yarns are worsted. So I was like, it's fine. Tangent. But yeah, my sister's a really amazing crocheter. So I took inspiration from her and I went out to Michael's and I bought a few crochet hooks. Like it was like a pack of like probably 4 or 5 of them. So I was like, okay, I can make whatever it is that I want to make. And I did. I just started making. A lot of the stuff that I made last year, I gave away. I think this sweater right here is the first project I truly made for myself. I spent a lot of time making things for other people, for holidays, for gifts, just because. And so I said to my partner, I was like, I think until June of this year, I need to just make stuff for myself because I think I got a little burnt out doing that too. But even burnout with like making stuff for other people, it's all in joy. Whereas burnout with work is a whole different story. But in this time, in 2025, I was working my job. I'm still working that same job. And it was pretty easy. I was doing the same stuff I'd been doing in 2023, same stuff I'd been doing in 2024. And then that summer, my coworker went out on maternity and I took over not just my responsibilities, but also hers. And did I have to do that? No. Did I enjoy her job? Yeah. I thought her job was really cool and I'm happy that I got to support the team and help and, corporate America, right? And after that, I started a brand new position. So I got promoted after that, which was really great. Came with a nice lifestyle shift, which was awesome. My husband and I did buy a house, which is where we're sitting right now. And all has been okay. However, this job is all of my previous responsibilities plus more. So I find that's what's happening is I'm working regular 10 to 12 hour days. I'm exhausted all of the time. I do like what I do. I help a lot of, I basically am like a career coach in some ways. I help a lot of young kids figure out a good pathway for them, whether it's through where I work or not. And I'm not going to go into detail of where I work. I'm not going to share anything really on my personal life aside from kind of what's gotten me here right now. Because this is not a channel this is a channel for me in the best way. And I hope that it also creates a space for other people to come and sit and chat and enjoy. But I'm not trying to make money from this. I am not trying to get sponsorships. I am not trying to make this an aesthetic, like, movie. I'm just trying to make this a space where every once in a while I can pick up my project and I can talk to you about what's going on in my head. maybe I'll share some stuff with you, but I'm not a teacher. I'm a novice, right? I started knitting literally this past month, right? So I was crocheting all year last year. I feel like I got pretty good at it. But the one thing I saw a very similar version of this sweater on Pinterest, but it was knit and I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't want to wait. So I ordered all the yarn and I was like, all right, I'm going to make a crochet version. And I love it. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. But I was like, why am I not knitting? Right? I knew how to knit when I was younger. My grandma taught me. And then during COVID, I knit like a scarf, one scarf. I probably stayed up for 3 days straight and knit it because these are hobbies that they just shut your mind off. And you can really sit with yourself. Your hands are occupied, so you're not on your phone. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just start trying to knit. And that's what this was. I was like, all right, let me just find my cheapest yarn that I have. Because I have accumulated some nice yarns, which I will talk about probably in my next video. But I'm not even on social media. Like this is going to be the only social media I have. I'm not going to start an Instagram. I'm not starting a TikTok. I am literally just going to talk to people on YouTube. And if you like it, cool. And if you're still here, cool. This space, what I want this space to be, what I want Studio M to be, is a space where we can combat adulting and burnout through creative processes. So maybe it's knitting, maybe it's crochet, maybe it's just the idea of going to a craft store and walking around. I'm a putzer. I love putzing. I love going to a TJ Maxx or Michael's and just walking around and seeing what makes me happy. Obviously to a responsible extent. In doing that, this space, I want it to become a space where you can, on maybe a semi-regular basis, come here, grab your coffee, which I'm going to take a sip of right now, grab your project, snuggle your dog. He's a paid actor, by the way. And just really have a space where you can enjoy the quiet, the calm, and you can take control a little bit of that burnout. So I always say, if you can't change the big thing, take control of the little. And that's what I'm doing. So that's what crochet and knitting has become for me, is I am very burnt out with work. I come home exhausted every day. On the weekends, it's never enough time for me to recoup. And I'm pretty social on the weekends. We do a lot of things on the weekends. I've skied every weekend for the last 3 weekends. I live in the Northeast, so skiing is a big part of my life. I grew up skiing. Unfortunately, life is what it is. And not to be like, meh, about all of it, but like, we have to take control of what we can. And that's what I do. So that's what I was doing with running back in 2025. And that's what back in 2024. And that's what I did with crochet last year. And so this year is going to be the year of knits. I still am going to crochet this year because there are some really fun, like summer type projects that I want to work on. But crochet takes me way less time. So I'm going to be committing more time into knitting and building out some really cool pieces for myself. After I finish this, I'm going to start my spring summer knit crochet plans, which I'm going to go over in the next video. And then that way this summer I have all of the stuff, because what happens is I don't start a project until the season that it's supposed to be in, and then I don't get to really wear it that season. So like this is the first project I started with enough time that I'm actually going to get to wear it. Same with this one, even though it's halfway through winter. It won't really get warm here until like mid-May, beginning of June. So I am going to go over those plans so that you can kind of see what my process looks like with how I decide to do what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll bring you through my yarn stash. It is not a huge yarn stash. There are some people on YouTube that have the biggest yarn stashes, and I can't decide whether to be jealous because I want all of that yarn or to be thankful that I have a very organized system for myself. I am not a hoarder, but I do like to collect. I'm a collector. So when I see things that I want, I've done really well over the last few years of not buying them. But there's a part in me that is like, I want it, I buy it, right? Why make money if I can't buy the things I want? If that's you too, we should chat, because everybody else around my life is not like that. They're very like analytical. But that's okay. It keeps me grounded. I might knit for a bit. I'm going to try to do a few rows, and then maybe I'll come back and I'll try this on, show you the progress. And then next video, maybe I'll have a finished item. So I'll see you in a sec. So this is what it's looking like right now. Almost there. And it's going, once I block it, it's going to be like a little bit longer, both arm and here. But yeah, this is the ribbing. I feel like for my first attempt, I'm not mad about it. And then I'm actually using, this is yarn that I got out of my grandma's basement. Okay. It is from the 60s or 70s. So it means that it's 100% wool. It is Reynolds Scotch Mist, made in Scotland exclusively for Reynolds Yarn for New York. So it's a New York yarn. My grandma's from New York. She's from the Bronx. And it is color 72162, dye lot 1. So this is one of the first lots, I guess, of this color. You can see like the variegation. It's so pretty. Don't look at the collar, because that was my first attempt ever really at ribbing. I went straight from this to ribbing. So it's like ribbing here, and then it shifted over ribbing here. The ribbing on the sleeves is much better. And then I did this like little like rolly sleeve type thing. But that's really all I've got for you today. I'm now like knelt on my floor. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me. I am still currently drinking my coffee. It's cold now. That is something that I am pretty known for. Yeah, why don't we do this? We'll end a video with a little fun fact, okay? I'm known for leaving 3/4 of whatever drink I'm drinking out around my house. My husband will walk around, there'll be like a can of Diet Coke, and he'll be like, he like picks it up and he's like, yep, that's right, because there's 3/4 left. When I drank it, maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, maybe 10 minutes ago, and now I'm done with it. I am gonna finish my coffee, however, but it is cold now. And again, I just want to reiterate, I am not trying to make money from this. I am not trying to like put ads on anything. I'm not trying to sell anything to you. I'm not even really trying to get you to watch my videos. At the end of the day, what I really, really want is just to create a space for me, for burnout, so that I can kind of take control of that. So I can live more like this dog, because this is what he does every single day, right? He hasn't moved since I started this. And so that if there's somebody else out there that is going through burnout right now, or who just needs to sit and knit with somebody, or sit and chat, or just needs a calm, cozy, quiet space, that is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. My next video, I think I'm gonna go, like I said, over my fiber plans. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, and we will talk later. All right, bye.